In this demonstration, we focus on the Portuguese model of the FAIR PReSONS platform, an AI-powered environment designed to support the assessment of recidivism risk. The system combines structured data input, machine learning models, and explainable outputs within a single interface. The Portuguese model has been developed using national-level correctional data, allowing it to capture patterns that are specific to the Portuguese judicial and penitentiary context. As we enter the platform, we are presented with the main risk assessment interface. At the top, the system clearly explains its purpose, highlighting that it provides probabilistic estimations based on historical data and should be used as a support mechanism rather than a decision-making authority. This positioning reflects a responsible AI approach, ensuring that human expertise remains central in interpretation. We then select Portugal as the country of assessment. This activates the Portuguese dataset and model, ensuring that all predictions are aligned with the national correctional framework. This step is critical, as recidivism patterns differ significantly across jurisdictions. We now move to the first use case. We begin by entering the profile of the individual. The gender is set to female. We then define the age group at release as between 40 and 49 years old. The education level is selected as third basic education, corresponding to 7 to 9 years of schooling. Nationality is defined as Portuguese. We proceed with the correctional variables. The sentence length is selected as between 15 and 25 years, indicating a long-term custodial sentence. The crime category is defined as crimes against property, and more specifically, the type of crime is selected as simple and aggravated fraud or theft. We then define the management complexity as high, reflecting the institutional handling of the case, and finally, the reason for release is set as conditional release. At this point, the form is fully populated, and the system has a complete representation of the case, combining demographic and correctional characteristics. We submit the assessment. The platform processes the input through its back-end infrastructure, where the data is transmitted via fast API to the trained Portuguese model. The model performs inference by comparing this case to patterns learned during training and generates a recidivism risk estimation. We now observe the results page. The system classifies the case as low risk of recidivism, as well as low risk within 3 years. The probability scores are displayed as 19% for overall recidivism and 6% for recidivism within 3 years, indicating a stable low-risk profile. We now move to the explanation layer. The diagram presents the contribution of each variable to the prediction. In this case, the age group is the most significant factor decreasing risk, suggesting that individuals within this age range are statistically less likely to reoffend. The type of crime also contributes to decreasing risk, indicating that this specific offense pattern is associated with lower recurrence. At the same time, the broader crime category introduces a moderate increase in risk, while the reason for release, conditional release, also contributes to increasing risk, reflecting potential uncertainty in post-release conditions. For the 3-year prediction, we observe a similar structure. Age group remains the dominant factor reducing risk, while type of crime and nationality contribute to increasing risk. At the same time, management complexity contributes to decreasing risk, suggesting that structured institutional oversight plays a stabilizing role. Below the diagram, the system provides a textual explanation summarizing the most influential variables, reinforcing the visual interpretation. At the bottom, all input variables are displayed, ensuring transparency and traceability. We now proceed to the second use case. We return to the form and begin entering a new profile. This time, the gender is set to male. The age group at release is defined as between 30 and 39 years old. The education level remains at third basic education, and nationality is again Portuguese. We continue with the correctional variables. The sentence length is defined as between 3 and 6 years, indicating a significantly shorter custodial period compared to the previous case. The crime category is selected as crimes against persons, and the type of crime is defined as assault. We then set management complexity as high and define the reason for release as other reasons. Once the form is completed, we submit the assessment. The system again processes the input through the same pipeline, retrieving the prediction from the Portuguese model and displaying the results. In this case, The system classifies the individual as high risk of recidivism, while the risk within 3 years remains low. The probability scores reflect this divergence, with 70% for overall recidivism and 24% for the 3-year horizon. This comparison highlights an important characteristic of the model. Even when outputs differ across time horizons, the underlying drivers of the prediction may shift depending on how the model interprets the interaction between variables.